Have you ever smiled at someone's words only to feel a sharp sting behind them? The kind of compliment that sounds sweet but leaves a bruise. Wow, you actually look good today, for once. Or the friend who claps the loudest when you fail, but disappears when you succeed. It's subtle, it's quiet, and that's why it's so dangerous. Because the most toxic people in your life don't always show up as enemies. They show up disguised as friends, partners, even family. They drain your energy, chip away at your self-respect, and make you doubt yourself, all while smiling in your face. Most people never notice it happening until it's too late, until they wake up one day, empty, exhausted, and wondering how they became the doormat in their own story. But here's the truth, it doesn't have to be this way. Once you recognize the hidden behaviors that slowly destroy your confidence, you can take your power back. You can protect your peace, stand firm in your worth, and live like someone who refuses to be disrespected. Welcome to Think Wise, where we expose the games people play and give you the wisdom to rise above them. Today, I'm going to reveal 5 toxic behaviors you must never tolerate. And once you see them, you'll never look at certain people the same way again. Have you ever noticed how some people throw insults while hiding behind a smile? They'll say things like, "Wow, you actually look good today," for once. Or, "Must be nice having all that free time to hit the gym. Some of us actually work." At first, you laugh it off. You tell yourself, it's just a joke. But deep down, you feel the sting. That's not humor. That's hostility wrapped in sarcasm. It's a coward's way of throwing punches without owning up to it. And here's the dangerous part. Every time you brush it aside, you're training yourself to accept micro-abuse. You swallow the insult to keep the peace. But that peace, it's fake, and so is the person delivering it. This behavior isn't about humor. It's about testing your self-worth. Every joke is a probe. Will you let this slide? Will you stay small? Will you laugh at your own expense just to make them comfortable? Here's the truth. Your silence doesn't protect you. It empowers them. The more you accept, the bolder they become. So next time someone hides an insult behind a smile, don't play along. Look them straight in the eye and say, "You say that a lot. Is there something you're actually trying to tell me?" Because the moment you stop laughing at disrespect, you stop being the punchline. Ever set a boundary only to feel like you just committed a crime? You cancel plans to rest, and suddenly you hear, "Wow, I guess I'm not important anymore." You take a break from texting and they hit you with, "Glad to know I'm so forgettable." You don't rescue them from their latest crisis and they sigh, "I just thought you were a real friend." Sound familiar? This is emotional blackmail dressed up as victimhood. They can't control you directly, so they weaponize guilt. They want you to feel like every no you say is proof that you're selfish, cold, or uncaring. But let's be clear, manipulation wrapped in sadness is still manipulation. You're not being kind by giving in. You're being mugged emotionally, robbed of your time and peace, all because you're afraid of looking like the bad guy. And here's the hard truth. If you keep letting guilt control you, you'll spend your whole life apologizing for having needs of your own. Next time someone tries this, respond with strength. If my no offends you more than your expectations burden me, then this relationship is already dead. Because real friends don't make you feel guilty for protecting your energy. Only manipulators do. Have you ever noticed how some people are always there when you're struggling, but vanish the moment you start winning? When you fail, they're suddenly the most supportive person in the room. But when you succeed, silence. Or worse, little daggers disguised as concern. They'll say things like, "Must be nice. Some of us actually work." Or, "Don't forget where you came from." Translation, "I can't handle your growth because it reminds me of my own stagnation." These are not friends. These are competitors hiding in your circle, fake cheerleaders who only clap when you're down, because your struggle makes them feel safe. And the moment you rise, they accuse you of changing. But here's the truth. Yes, you've changed. That's the whole point of growth. Real friends don't get threatened by your glow up. They clap for it. They don't compete with you. They celebrate you. So the next time someone tries to guilt you for leveling up, look them in the eye and say, "I didn't forget where I came from. That's exactly why I'm not going back." Because the people who truly love you will never feel smaller just because you decided to grow. Have you ever had a friend who treats you like their personal diary? They'll call you for hours, trauma dump their problems, unload every frustration from work, family, or relationships, and when it's your turn to speak, suddenly they vanish. Maybe they cut you off, maybe they zone out like your words are background noise, or maybe they're always too busy the moment the spotlight shifts to you. That's not friendship. That's emotional colonization. You're not their friend, you're their unpaid therapist, and you keep showing up, giving time, giving energy, giving empathy, while they give you nothing but silence when you need support. Here's the truth. Conversations are supposed to be an exchange, not a monologue. If they only show up when it benefits them, what you have isn't connection, it's exploitation. Next time you notice this pattern, shut it down with clarity. I've noticed we only talk when it's about you. Can we make this mutual? Or should I stop wasting my breath? Because your voice deserves to be heard, and if they can't value your words, they don't deserve your ears. Have you noticed how the moment you start respecting yourself, some people suddenly act like you're the problem? You say no, you ask for space, you set a boundary, and they fire back with, "You've changed. You're so cold now. You're being selfish." Of course you've changed. It's called growth. It's called self-respect. But to them, it feels like a threat. Why? Because they only loved the version of you that kept quiet, bent over backwards, and never said no. Boundary bullies thrive on control. And when you finally take that control back, they panic. They'll shame you, guilt you, and label you difficult, all because you refuse to be their doormat anymore. Here's what you need to remember. Your growth isn't selfish. It's just inconvenient for people who benefited from your lack of it. So when someone tries to gaslight you for protecting your peace, look them straight in the eye and say, "Growth isn't selfish. It only feels that way to people who are comfortable with my silence." Because the moment you stop apologizing for your boundaries, you stop bleeding respect. If you've been tolerating backhanded compliments, guilt trips, fake friends, one-sided conversations, or boundary bullies, your self-worth has been bleeding in silence. Every time you stay quiet, every time you excuse the behavior, every time you swallow the disrespect just to keep the peace, you're handing away pieces of yourself you can't afford to lose. But here's the truth. The moment you stop tolerating it, your entire life shifts. You attract better people, you protect your energy, and you start living like someone who knows their value, not like a clearance item desperate to be chosen, but like a prize that must be earned. And yes, people will resist. They'll hiss when you grow. They'll call you cold, selfish, or difficult. But that's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their fear of losing control. Growth doesn't come with applause. It comes with pushback. But on the other side of that pushback is peace, clarity, and strength. Remember this, your time is non-refundable, your energy is sacred, and your peace is priceless. Stop giving front row seats to people who wouldn't even clap for you. You've got one life. You can spend it pleasing people or cleansing people. The choice is yours. This is Think Wise. And if this message hit home, don't just listen, live it. If this video opened your eyes, remember, wisdom only works when you live it. So take a second to subscribe to Think Wise, because every week we dive deeper into the truths that make you stronger, sharper, and unshakable. Until next time, stay wise, stay strong.